people. With me in the studio is Dave Garratt, Chief Executive of Refugee Action. Do these numbers surprise you?
No, they don't surprise me at all. I mean, the first thing to remember that the people this most affects, the shocking things in this report most affects, are asylum seekers themselves. I mean, it can't be right that people that are fleeing for their lives, persecution. We used to say fleeing unimaginable circumstances, but actually we see the pictures in Syria every day of what people are fleeing, war and torture and persecution. They come to our shores and they expect to be able to claim for asylum, claim for protection in a timely manner. What they're met with actually is a system that treats them inhumanely, degrades them, and over a very protracted length of time.
Theresa May, though, scrapped the UK Borders Agency. She said it was secretive, it was mysterious, and it wasn't doing the job properly. Were things better when the UK Borders Agency was actually up and running?
To be honest, I think this report is another missed opportunity, and there's been 10 years of technocratic solutions to the asylum processing problem. The problem is that the system doesn't treat asylum seekers as human beings. I'll give you one example. At the moment, asylum seekers are kept in abject poverty, despite what the Mayor of Calais said yesterday. In fact, asylum seekers can't access mainstream benefits. They're not able to work. They're kept on benefit levels about half that.
Well, she was talking about £36, which she said was a fortune, but in fact, you know, that is impossible, isn't it?
I would challenge any of us to live on £36 a week, but in fact, that is what asylum seekers are expected to do. Too many of our clients say to us that, you know, actually what they're worrying about is how on earth am I going to feed myself today, rather than navigating the important asylum determination system.
But if so many are just lost in the system, and if they're not claiming benefits, presumably they are just employed in the black economy.
Well, I think there's a real danger of that. You have to remember that, of course, that asylum seekers are amongst the most resilient people. They're people that, you know, have often challenged their governments and certainly made a very difficult journey here. Many of the people we work with are desperate to find proper employment, in fact volunteer all over the country doing really, really good work because they want to contribute and they want to be part of our society, but that's denied to them.
So what needs to be done? I mean, none of these solutions are going to happen overnight, are they?
Sure. 4 things. Firstly, stop asylum seekers living in poverty. Allow them a decent living so they can navigate the system properly. Secondly...
Which is politically very difficult, perhaps, in the present circumstance.
I think it's politically difficult, but I think if people knew the reality that people were living far, far below mainstream benefits, I think it could become more politically acceptable. Secondly, there's been a degradation in the amount of advice and support that people get as they go through the asylum process. There's too many people we see don't understand the system. They're not being told what it's about, and how can people navigate it when they don't know how it works. Thirdly, legal aid. Legal representation has been really reduced over the last few years for asylum seekers, and again, many of our clients say that they don't believe they've had a fair crack at the whip because they've not had the right legal representation that they can believe in. And fourthly, all of the solutions have been technocratic ones about, do we recruit these people, do we put the department here? Actually, no one's ever asked asylum seekers how they experience the asylum system. There's no learning from asylum seekers themselves about how to change the system to make it work for everybody. I think there's one last point to say about numbers, because I think everybody's bandying words this morning around like shockingly large numbers. It is in the thousands, but in the context of the many millions of people coming out of Syria and being hosted by countries like Turkey, the Lebanon, 1 in 4 people in the Lebanon is a Syrian refugee, I think we have to have a sense of perspective. The world is facing the biggest global refugee crisis since the Second World War, and the UK really isn't doing enough either to support the people that come here spontaneously, or secondly, to bring people out of those awful circumstances on a programme basis. At the moment, the UK has only resettled 100 Syrian refugees from the Syrian situation.
Right. Dave Garratt from Refugee Action. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
More on that.